In this video, I'm going to show you a quick plugin that will help you frame your stories and your reels in DaVinci Resolve. All right, so let's do that and jump into Resolve, and I will show you what this does. All right, so we're here in Resolve and I have a simple project set up with just one clip because I don't need much to show you how to do this. So we're gonna use RealBuddy, which is a plugin by rvisuals.store. If you go there, they have a ton of transitions as well, which I might make another video on, but I'm just gonna talk about the RealBuddy plugin and how it just helps you optimize for vertical videos on social like Reels or TikToks and things like that. So I have a 16:9 vertical video timeline here, and here's my clip, and I'm just going to grab the RealBuddy plugin and drop it on the clip, and so automatically it kind of just puts it into the formation of what it will look like on one of the platforms. This is TikTok specifically. And so over here under effects, make sure, like, if you have video selected, it might be on video, so make sure you click effects to be able to see all the settings from RealBuddy. And so right now you have, they can have the guides, the effects, or you can disable. So this is obviously, was the full. This right here is like just the effects. So this is what it'll look like when you export. This is no plugin at all. It just disables the plugin. So the check mark is the guides. The little dot is the effects without the guides there, which is what you'll want to do when you're exporting. And then disable means you're not even using the plugin at all. So we'll leave the guides on for now just to walk through the plugin. So again, this isn't going to like edit your videos for you. This is just to help you format your edited video for social media. So the guides here, they give you an option to choose what platform you're on. So TikTok, this is kind of what is going to look like when people are watching. If you go to Instagram, this is what it'll look like. If you click this toggle and go to Facebook, this is what it'll look like. And then YouTube Shorts, that's what it'll look like. So it just kind of lets you see, are you putting your captions in the right place? Are you doing some of the stuff as far as the formatting correctly so that it works wherever you're posting it? So we'll just throw Instagram up here. And then the other thing is you can do a reel or a story. Like obviously Instagram has stories, so that'll look a little different. Facebook has stories, and I think TikTok does. I don't think YouTube does anymore. Yeah, so YouTube, they even put a little thing on there that YouTube doesn't even do that anymore. But for now, we'll just leave it on Reels. So they have a couple options on the guides. The safe area, opacity. So when you bring this up, it's going to show you where the safe area is to put text, essentially. Like your video obviously can go onto the edges where all this stuff is, but this shows you where the text needs to be to make sure it's not going to be overlapped by the interface of the app. So you can bring that up while you're working, and then you can even do the frame overlay. So this is the frame specifically on your video. So not necessarily the safe area, but right now there's a frame on the video, and we can adjust that here in a second. But we're going to turn this overlay up too, so you can just see where that frame is. And then obviously this is just to turn the opacity down on the guides if you don't want those all the way up. But we'll just leave those all the way up for now. And then let's go down to transform. So I'll close this and then transform here. This is just going to move your video. So it's going to move it within the frame. So right now, if it's dead center, which is where I want it, but let's say your video wasn't centered, or maybe someone's head was off to the side a little bit and you want them in the center. This is how you do this. You could keyframe, you can cut it up on the timeline and move the center so that your head or the subject is in the middle of the frame. So we can bring that down a little bit, bring it over. And so even as I play this back, you can see it's just kind of sitting in the middle. And if it kind of lags like that, one thing you can do just real fast is come up to the playback. And sometimes I just go down, we can have render cache on Smart, but I might go down to half resolution so that when I play back, it plays smooth. That's just a little tip. But this is how you transform, where you're at. Now the size of this will adjust like the size of your video. So if you wanted your video to be bigger or smaller, you can do that there as well. So let's go on to the frame here. That's a perfect freeze frame there. Let's go to the frame. And here you can choose a couple things. Default, it's the 1:1, and it just kind of keeps your video right there in the middle. And that might be useful, if you have a 16:9 and you want to just cut off a little bit, but you want a lot of it still to be in there if you have multiple people. You can also do 16:9 and just have the entire frame there. It helps you. This again is just the frame of the video. You can even turn all this off. If we hit custom, it's just going to go, you can see the frame edge went all the way to the edge of this. And this is where we customize it. So this is where we bring down the frame to be whatever we want it to be, height wise or whatever. So I can leave this all the way up for now. And even like, let's say, let me bring this down. What if I could do this and then I could even round the corners? Like, you know, you could do something like that. Just has multiple options for you to use. And then if you come down to effects, this kind of shows you, let me turn off the guide so we can just see the effects. So right now, my video, like I have the frame as the whole thing. Like if I wanted it to be the full frame, then I wouldn't really be able to move this around. So this would have to go back to 0.5. And then I fill the whole frame here, right? So let's have that there. The effects won't matter if your video is full frame because it's full frame. It's covering everything. So if we come back to frame, let's put it on 1:1. And I'm just going to kind of redo what I did earlier. We're going to do 1:1 and bring me down a little bit in the shot and maybe even do a custom, but just maybe the height is like something like this. And so again, I don't have the guides on because I just want to see the effects. So in the background, it does some things. It duplicates your video file and kind of blurs it. So you can add a vignette. So there's a vignette there. So like, let me take that away real fast and you can take away the blur and you can see it just is duplicating this and making it bigger and even like the opacity. And then you can change the size. So you can see, you can adjust the size there and do some different stuff with it. So if we bring the opacity down back to 75 and let's bring the blur all the way up kind of default, you can go all the way up. Default looks kind of good. And then even the vignette strength, and that's just going to help the interface of the software pop out a bit. We'll bring that all the way back up. And so that's kind of what the effects are. So you can adjust the size if you want, you know, it to not be super big, or if you want it to be huge, or, you know, whatever you want it to do, as well as if you don't want that to show up as much or at all, you can get rid of that by just dragging that down to 0%. So this is kind of what the effects are. And again, these are the framings of things, and this helps you keep the captions in there. But that's basically ReelBuddy. That's a simple way of just framing and making sure that everything is in the right place for when you export those reels. And I spent a lot of time talking about it here, but obviously if you do that on your videos, it's not going to take very long. It's going to just take a couple of minutes to get things framed up in the right place. So that was just a quick look at the ReelBuddy plugin for Resolve. And if you want to check it out, I have a link in the description that you can go and check out the ReelBuddy plugin for yourself. If you like videos like this, check out this one right here, and I will see you in the next video.